What's going on, guys? Dave with Miracle Canine Training, out here with Murphy again. So continuing on with his training, he's making really great progress. He's at about 2.5 weeks into his board and train right now, and really doing incredible. Huge shift from obviously day one with the aggression that we were seeing to now. So what we're doing is we're continuing to proof his obedience right now. We're continuing to implement the e-collar into all of his behaviors and stuff. The last two videos you guys would have seen were when we were first starting to introduce the e-collar into the recalls and into the bed stays, and then also the first public outing that we did with him and how we went about addressing some of his healing issues and stuff like that around higher distractions. So our job now is to continue obviously implementing the e-collar into new behaviors. So we've continued to starting to combine things, doing recalls off of beds, adding downs into the equation with the e-collar and stuff. And right now we're working on focusing on stability, right? So he's obviously very quick to do his commands. He knows all of them, but we want to get him more and more stable with those things as we go on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate some drills that we do to make sure that they're maintaining the position and continuing to move him in the right direction. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. All right, so right now we have Murphy in a bed stay over here. So the idea here is we want to get him understanding no matter what, once you're put into a position here, that it's expected that you stay there until given another command, no matter what's going on, right? So no matter if I crouch down like this, no matter if I sprint across the room real quick, or I do any sort of inviting things, you know, he has to understand that he needs to stay in that position. So I'm going to be using a combination of an e-collar correction for mistakes in this case, as well as a food reward for doing well with these things, right? So obviously doing good with the bed stay here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with calling him over, putting him into a down, and then just repeating these drills here. Murphy, come. Good. So getting him to me, I'm going to reward. Murphy, down. Good. I'm going to reward for that down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing things to try to get him to break this command. So I'll be walking quickly around the room, doing things where I come up to him and I kind of crouch down like this. And if he does well, good. I'll go back, I'll mark with good and I'll reward for that. If he doesn't do well with it, what I'm going to do is mark with no, give a correction on the e-collar, help him back into the position and repeat that process. Okay, once he does good with one, bed, I'm going to put him into another command here, down, good. Reward for getting into command, and I'm going to repeat that process. So I could even do things where I open the door, walk out of the room for a second, no. Marking with no, giving a correction on the e-collar, Murphy, bed, and then helping him back into command, down. And then I'll try that again, and we'll see how he does with it this time. Now we have not done any sort of out of sight work with him yet. Good, so that was a prime example of how we would work through an initial picture like that. Okay. Could even do things where I drop some food on the ground. No, down. Murphy down, good. And making sure he's staying stable for that. I'll try again here. Good. And I'll mark with good and go back and reward for that. Okay. And then I can release him, let him get those. Murphy, bed. Down. Good. Repeat this process. So, quick run, going out of sight. Coming back in. Good. And rewarding. Now again, this is only his first time doing drills like this, so a lot of this is going to be challenging for him, like dropping the food, like walking out of the room. Murphy, come. So we're just going to work him through it as we need to. Good. Down. Good. So I'll go ahead and try the food dropping again. No. Down. No. Down. Now, as I need to, this is where I'll start to see where do I need to increase the motivation. So right there, the level that I had him at on the e-collar wasn't high enough to work through that distraction. So I'll increase it until I get that response of him disengaging from the distraction, moving back into the position, then I'll bring that level back down again. So I'll try again here. No. Murphy. Down. Good. Trying again. Good. And then marking and rewarding. Okay. And I'll release him, and I can let him then go get those pieces. So we're gonna try that one again because that seems to be the hardest one for him in this situation. Good. Now, as we're doing this, we've been obviously working on this stuff for a couple of weeks. Down. So this is where we're out of the stages of teaching. He knows what to do, right? Good. So what we're doing is we're continuing to reinforce for the correct behaviors that he's showing us, but we're also gonna start to get a lot more firm on these things so he understands there's a lot in it for you for doing the correct thing. It's fun, it's engaging, but there's also fair rules for breaking these commands in these situations. So we'll try this again. Much better. Good. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, Murphy, bed, is I'm gonna work a little bit more out of sight stuff while adding in dropping the food. Down. Good, so I'll get him into command. I'm gonna mark and reward for holding position. Then we're gonna leave the room for a second here. Coming back in. Good. Adding a second reward in for the duration here. Okay. Releasing him out of that position. Murphy, come. Good. Getting him to come to me. Murphy, down. Trying to find those straggling pieces of kibble that I'm dropping. Good. Once he gets into that position, rewarding for that. Walking out of the room again here. Coming back in. Good. Okay. Bed. Down. Good. Same deal, leaving the room. Coming back in. Then I'll add in dropping the food. Good. Mark and reward for doing a good job. Okay, then releasing him off and letting him get it. We're gonna do one more repetition of this here. He's doing really great here. Murphy, come. Good. Down. Good. Now, another thing that we'll do sometimes with the downs to test them is we'll make sure that they can hold that position even while stepping over. Good. So stepping over, marking, rewarding, dropping food, good. Marking, rewarding, no. Down, making sure he's waiting. If I do want him to get the kibble, I'll make sure I'm giving that okay release for this. Making sure that even crouching down, opening the arms, running across the room, good. All looks good with him. Okay, then I'll release him. Murphy, come. Down. Good. Good. Okay. So these are a little bit of tips here on how we go about proofing some of these positions. Just kind of doing wacky stuff, having fun with it, starting to get to a place where we're showing the dog tons of different pictures to proof their commands, continuing to motivate them as much as possible, but also adding in fair consequences and boundaries to make sure that they're understanding both sides of the equation, what we want as well as what we don't want. And that's how we start to develop the general communication we're looking to have with them in general. Murphy, come. Bed. So as always, we're gonna continue to keep you guys posted on his progress. He has about a week and a half left with us. So this is where things really start kind of fine tuning a little bit. We're ironing out all of the last details and stuff of his training. He's doing fantastic so far, going from having some human aggression issues to being a nice, confident, motivated dog, doing really great in social. We'll try to get some video of that next time for you guys, and just doing really good. So if you have any questions, hit it up in the comments below. Thanks for watching.